They believe that President Trump, President-elect Trump has a mandate and that people really, want to see the border secure. So they want to get that done in a 1-2 punch. They later want to be able to pass a tax bill.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined today by congressional reporter Samantha-Jo Roth. SJ, President Joe Biden leaving office, former and future President Donald Trump getting ready to return to office. They've had a little bit of competition going about the shape of the federal judiciary. Where do things stand right now?
Yeah, so there's been this fight to see which one can confirm the most judges to the bench. That was really, Mitch McConnell's claim to fame. He, had been able to confirm the most judges ever during Trump's first term, which was at 233. So there's been this fight, with the Senate Democrats to try to beat or, reach that number, and they are very, very close. Where things stand I think they're at 233 as well, but there are 2 additional district judges that are in the pipeline to be confirmed, which will really put Biden just over the 1% threshold. In order to do this, they did have to, make some concessions to Senate Republicans. They were able to stop 4 appellate level judges from moving forward. Obviously Senate Democrats also admit that these judges maybe wouldn't have been able to be confirmed anyway. So, sort of like they get a win, Senate Republicans, since those appellate level judges should then be appointed by Trump. There was a little bit of controversy over that because one of those judges did decide not to unretire.
Right.
So there's a little bit of partisan politicking at this time, but it's going to be a big accomplishment to try and reshape the federal judiciary. It is, interesting to note that Biden really only got to choose one one Supreme Court justice opposed to Trump, which was able to confirm, I believe 3. So, that was a big deal. But, Senator John Thune, who will be the new Senate Majority Leader, will have the opportunity to also do the same. So we'll see if he's going to, make that part of his legacy as well.
I mean, these records now are almost meant to be broken because if you control the Senate and you control the White House at the same time, no more filibuster for judges. Pretty easy to get your way with these confirmations, no?
Yeah, absolutely. And now that Republicans have a very comfortable majority in the next Senate, they should be able to do a decent amount of this in the next term. But, as we've seen over the last couple of years, these judges really do make a huge difference, and we've seen that.
So what might be a little bit more challenging is passing legislation. And so even though Republicans are going to control both houses of Congress and the White House, things don't always go the president's way. What are some of the plans on how to pass the Trump agenda next year?
Well, I know there is a group of senators and there's a group of House members. They've come up with a 2-part reconciliation plan. So what they want to see first, as soon as they get back in January, is a bill that has a bunch of border priorities. They believe that President Trump, President-elect Trump has a mandate and that people really, want to see the border secure. So they want to get that done in a 1-2 punch. They later want to be able to pass a tax bill. They want to get, the tax cuts back. Basically, they're going to expire. They want to make sure that they don't. And, we've seen part of the fight that we've seen recently is that they're going to have to raise the debt limit to do that, potentially. So that is something that they're going to have to do. A lot of these Republicans who are very, big fiscal hawks, they emphasize that in order to do this, there needs to be cuts elsewhere. So that should be fun.
Right. Well, and so that brings us to what's going on currently as we're filming this. We've already seen before the new Congress and the new president take office that there's still some capacity for infighting and maybe a little bit of dysfunction. Yeah,
I think overnight we just saw a bill that was negotiated completely fall apart. And, it happened, our House reporter, Cammie, a couple of hours before it all fell apart, was like, this thing's dead. And
That's
you
a good
know,
impression of her. Yeah.
and we were just like, yeah, she was right. Elon Musk tweeted,
Sure.
Trump tweeted, the thing is completely dead. So I think, there is definitely some frustration among Republicans. A lot of them are not saying it outwardly, but I mean, this kind of just traces back to the first term where Trump, loved to come in at the 11th hour and completely change everything. Speaker Johnson has a tall task in working with President-elect Trump, making sure that he's in lockstep with every single thing that he does, because as we just saw, it just exploded. And maybe he also needs to keep Elon Musk in the mix as well, because it does feel like Elon Musk is the one that really killed this bill, not necessarily President-elect Trump.
Right, he was the one who was speaking out against it first.
Exactly. So, Elon Musk may need to be kept in the fold as well as Trump. I don't really know what the answer is going to be, but this definitely looks like kind of the chaos that we saw over the first term. I think we definitely saw that with some senators. Senator Susan Collins this afternoon was like, I don't know what he's doing with the debt ceiling thing. That's something that takes months and months of negotiation. Why would you throw that in at the 11th hour? I think there's a lot of frustration, especially among those fiscal hawks who were already really upset about the bill to begin with, and now they're even more upset.
Always one social media post away from a surprise.
Yes, should be fun the next 4 years. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Thank you, SJ.
Thank you.
You can read Samantha-Jo and the rest of our politics team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.